Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Tex once again with the Open Source Office, and we've got an exciting topic for you here today. We're going to be covering cdec and a little bit of the Cardano Builder DAO. Let's first take our focus over here to cdec. I'm joined by Rupert Whitehead, and then I also have Justin Schreiner in the room here. Rupert, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Sure. I'm Rupert. I'm in the ecosystems team at IOG, and I've been with IOG for the last year and a half. Been working with cdec from the beginning, looking to build it up and try and make it a success with the community.
All right, Justin, how about yourself?
Yeah, my name's Justin. I'm one of the co-founders at Clarity. We've been building governance tooling on Cardano for many years now. Been involved in the ecosystem since early days of Catalyst, and now early member of cdec, and excited to share what we've been working on with some other projects to form the Cardano Builder DAO as well.
Wonderful. Thanks so much. And I'll pop it in there once again, just in case anyone's forgotten. Of course, I'm the open source program manager here, part of the open source office at Intersect. I'm also the secretary for the open source committee. And so what we'll dive into here is for this one, let's take a look at cdec. What is it? What does it mean? How does this work? And how does that relate to open source at Intersect and the open source committee? So Rupert, tell us some more.
So probably it's worth beginning explaining a little bit about what cdec actually stands for, because you kind of hear this mysterious acronym. It just stands for Cardano Development and Ecosystem Cooperative. And the bits I kind of want to pull out there is it's a cooperative. So it's very much open in terms of its ethos, its approach, and how we encourage people to get involved. It's pretty much available for anybody to join and participate. If you go to cdec.site, you click on the Discord link there, you'll be able to be taken through an onboarding process. But it's really a community that's there for builders. And so what we're trying to do is accelerate Cardano's technical progress through coordination, cooperation, and knowledge sharing, really is the kind of approach. And having this space where builders can come together, kind of amazing things begin to happen there because you connect people together. And the two main places we've been focusing on from the cdec perspective are encouraging and helping builders find the different sources of funding that are out there. So we're kind of acting as guides, collectively figuring our way through the maze of this to make it a little bit simpler for people. And then secondly, we're looking at technical collaboration areas. So you see a kind of a connection point on things like what IOG has been doing with various partners, or at least IOE has been doing with various partners in terms of submitting for core budget and looking at how to work with others on these areas, but also to share technical opportunities for collaboration as well, and to get feedback from the community.
Absolutely. Well, it definitely sounds like that's really right up our alley here. So I'll bring this in for just a moment. Of course, with open source, we're looking at the paid open source model, and this seems like just a perfect cooperative, as you mentioned here, to come and help push this along. So, I mean, I don't want to jump too far into things, but I would definitely say we are trying to curate some of the same things here as far as collaboration between the open source committee, OSC, and then, of course, the technical steering committee here, TSC. And so between what we are doing here on the Intersect side, it sounds like you guys are able to do that from the outside or for the wider community. And then collectively, we can bring together cdec and OSC and TSC and keep empowering builders moving forward, of course, from the funding perspective, but also making sure that things are technically sound.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the intention.
Yeah, and then just from a project's perspective, I think the benefit of this is really, I think that the Cardano funding process is quite robust. There's quite a lot of ways that a project can seek funding. So as a project, if you're not spending all of your time to digest and understand what that process is, cdec is a super helpful organization to kind of give some guidance and understand where my project might fit in, what the best way to seek funding is. And then also just on the collaboration side, I think especially in Clarity's case, I can speak to, but things like Catalyst, things like this that have kind of encouraged collaboration in the past have been some of the most fruitful kind of things that we've pursued. So I think that kind of formalizing that more, making this group that specifically encourages technical collaboration, I think that that's when some of the most interesting and powerful stuff can get built on Cardano, is when these projects team up together.
Absolutely. Well, we're definitely tossing around the word funding here quite a bit, and maybe we can put some focus on that since that's a hot topic, if you will. So, of course, from at least the OSC and the TSC side, we've had months of work where we've been trying to collaborate with various projects and get them into, what aligns with the product roadmap, and then, finding which projects are going to be, most important, at least from what we can determine with the technical experts. And when I say we, again, I'm talking collectively, our prestige members of the technical steering committee, and then also the oversight from the open source committee there to ensure policy and things like that. But obviously there is still a wider community, and we may not have reached everyone or may not have collected everyone's information. So, Rupert, from the CDEC perspective, what exactly are we looking at for funding approaches, or how do we bring people in to make sure that they're getting as close as possible the same opportunity?
Yeah, I mean, there's around 70 organizations that are participating in CDEC already. So what we're trying to do is reach out to as many of them and beyond to make them aware of how they seek funding, the processes that they would go through. So a lot of that right now, if you're an open source project, go to the cdec site, go to GovTools and submit your proposal if you're interested in submitting a proposal and you need funding for something like this. So that's the kind of thing we're really keen to just steer people to the existing approach that works for them. Catalyst, we hope, is going to be there in the future for those kind of projects that need incubation. And Justin will be able to talk a little bit about builders DAO in the future. But the kind of members we've got within CDEC, it's a real range from people who are building blockchain explorers, bridges, DeFi enablers, dev tooling and libraries, which is at the heart of so many of the open source projects out there. Governance enablers. We've been looking at L2 scaling, oracles, wallets, zero knowledge proofs, all sorts of different things. So there's lots of technology there, and there's a lot of incredibly skilled, interesting builders to connect to. And we can't guarantee every project's going to get funding. That's not our intention. That's not our goal. What we want to do is give people a fair shot. Ultimately, it's going to be, in our system, the D-reps that decide where the funding goes under this new system. And so we need to make that process as simple and as effective as possible for the community, so the community as a whole can be really successful.
Yeah, it's definitely all down to the D-reps there. I guess what we can close out with here, at least for the moment, is kind of just some openness or transparency and how to get involved or how to stay connected, if you will. For the open source committee, we do host open meetings. We actually have our open office hours as well. We host it's the second Tuesday and the last Thursday of each month. We're out there on X for about an hour. And then our committee meetings are bi-weekly, so definitely stay tuned with the Intersect Discord and the events calendar there for when those meetings are taking place. We welcome you to come in at any time, at least as an observer. And if we need to get you on the agenda, of course, just leave a comment or reach out to us in our Discord channel there. But how are we getting involved with CDEC and joining? We've got over 70. That's great. I know there's probably quite a few more. But yeah, what's involved with joining, and how do we stay up to date? Connect with CDEC.
It's pretty simple. You just go to the cdec.site website, and you'll see a little link to the Discord channel there. Click on that, and you'll be taken through an onboarding process. There's no membership agreement, but there are kind of community guidelines for how you should participate. Because again, we're trying to make this environment as open, as friendly, as welcoming, and as collaborative as possible. And I guess, like most communities, you get out of it what you put in. So the more you put in, the more engaged you are, the more you're going to get out of it. And so, for example, I think Clarity is a good example of being, getting engaged, jumping in there with both feet. And I think they, as a result, it's hopefully more effective for them and others. And we found it really useful to get feedback on things like documenting the node and how you best document the node. Getting feedback from builders on that has been really helpful for us. So having a place where you can get these kind of feedback loops happening and you can make these connections and learn about other projects, it builds your industry awareness and makes the ecosystem, I think, work a little bit better.
All right. Well, if you're a builder, if you're a developer, if you've got a project or an organization and you're looking to see how you can get involved, definitely check out CDEC. Definitely pop by the open source committee here, and we'll catch up in the future. Thanks, guys.